I often say that I like Barolo when it's about 10 years old. Now we're in 2021 and I have chosen a bottle of 2011 to see if my statement is confirmed. What I remember about the seasons in 2011 is that the winter was pretty much mild and the spring was also not too hot. It was warm and rather rainy. There was enough water for the rest of the spring and the summer. Summer picked up a little late. It wasn't particularly hot until August. Then August, yes, had high temperature and it was completely dry. We got to early September when the white grapes were ripe. Dolcetto was getting ripe, but Nebbiolo seemed to suffer from a slight drought. But then something very lucky happened, that it rained in the first weekend of September. And Nebbiolo sure enjoyed that water. After that, it ripened slowly through cool nights at the end of September and very nice sunny days. The grape harvest occurred in the second week of October, and then, yes, we had beautiful, healthy grapes. Many people ask me if they should decant Barolo, and my answer is always yes, it is better to decant it, whether it's young or old, not necessarily because it may have sediment, but because we need to air it out. We need to give it some oxygen in order to develop the full aroma. So in this case, I chose from my collection a Barolo Riserva 2011. This is from Arione Vineyards and it's our Riserva dell'Ulivo. I have decanted it about an hour ago and now we're ready to taste it. See those legs? They show high alcohol content. In fact, it is 15%. And the color is still beautiful. It's bright, darker in the center. It's a dark garnet, slightly orangey in the hues, but it didn't give in to any brownish hue. So it looks very healthy and still absolutely intact. Wow, it's a very ample, very wide range of aromas, going from still fruity, some red fruit, there's a orange peel, candied fruit, and then something dry herbs and hay, and all the way to spice, in particular cinnamon and clove are showing. So it's very layered, very complex in the nose, fully ethereal. This is also a signal of maturity in the wine, that it's becoming extremely poignant in the nose with the full expression of an ethereal Barolo. Huge body. It's really big example of classic Barolo. High alcohol, we said 15%. Relatively good acidity, still very present. And the tannins are chewy here. The tannins are really big. Altogether, it has a big structure, big body, and it's actually keeping more than I expected. It tastes young still. It has a great future in front of it. Frankly, I did not expect that from a 2011. So it is much to my surprise. So I think there's more to find out about this vintage. 2011 came after two important vintages. 2009 was really fruity, very enjoyable, very forward. And 2010 was strong, powerful, classic, long-lasting. So somehow maybe the expectation from 11 was a bit lower. After the grape harvest, people wouldn't think that it could turn into a great vintage. And that was a misconception. As I taste it now, 10 years later, I'm really convinced that this is a terrific vintage, that it is better than we thought, and that it has more to say, that we can taste it again in a few years and find out about its evolution. I am myself very positively impressed and surprised by the depth of this Barolo vintage 2011.